do we have next?
Your Honor, the last case for the day is Adam Rodriguez. Come forward to the court. His accusations against him are that he was least likely to succeed, the black sheep, insignificant, unworthy of love, bound by anger and security. Your Honor, step right here in the well, Mr. Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez, you heard the accusations against you. Sir, what say you? Tell the people.
What up, Redeeming Word? What's happening? How y'all doing? I know a lot of y'all know me here. Some of y'all know me as just that kid with the gold teeth. Loud, you know what I'm saying? Animated. That's just how I am, right? I just want to, before I give my testimony, I just want to give a thank you. As y'all know, me and my wife, Rachel Bay, I love you. She's at home watching this right now, holding it down with the kids. I love you. I just want to thank everybody for y'all support. For the people that just even ask. Every time I come here Sunday, y'all ask, how's your wife doing? How's the baby? Y'all don't know how much that means to us. If you don't know, a lot of you do know, me and Rachel came down here, my wife with our son, and the clothes on our back. We drove all the way down here from Rochester, New York. Why? Because God told us to. And God's been holding us up since. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you to Les and Nicole and Azarea and all the Revolution student staff for throwing us a baby shower. I want to thank Gail for making us some food. Carl and his wife for blessing my son. Giselle for showing love to my wife. You know what I mean? My wife don't got a lot of friends, but thank you because y'all all have been friends. And y'all all have been family to us, so we appreciate it, and we thank you so much. The baby doing good, the baby healthy, she looking good, smiling. So thank you.
Praise God. Praise God. Come on, give it up. Give God praise for that.
Amen. I just want to open this up with a piece that I wrote, real short. I said, I write my rhyme with my mind in a reflective state, so listen close as I share with you my truest thoughts. Lord, forgive me for my time that done went to waste in the process of me wandering these foolish parts. I hear a voice saying it's time that I separate from my past and choose a path where the truth embarks. But if I'm honest, I've been spying on the heaven gates. I see the kingdom when I enter will it loose my heart and set me free from all of these thoughts of depression, all of this anger, aggression, doubts, insecurities, leaving me in a place where I'm stressing. Thinking about times when I was just resting, just heeding the blessings. That child's grown now. I'm weeping and seeking direction, fleeing from evil intentions, knowing these people will mention how I've grown now from ways that were keeping me pressed in. They was just treating me less than fading, but secretly prepping for what I know now. As y'all know, my name is Adam Joel Rodriguez. I'm 28 years old. I'm from Rochester, New York, right? And where my journey started was as a kid. I'll make this real short, just real brief, right? I started off in a good home with my mom, my stepdad. My father really wasn't there in my life. I don't have no memories of my fatherhood when I was a child. He left around 2-3 years old. My mom got married to this man, good man, right? That's what, like Pastor Lottie said, that's what we say, right? Good man. From what I remember as a kid, this man, my stepdad, he was good to us, right? He used to take me to all the wrestling events, me and my brother. It was 5 of us. It was me and my brother who shared the same father, who, like I said, wasn't there. And then my mom and my stepdad, they had 3 kids. And it was all of us. My mom was always out there working, had 3 jobs. Y'all know how I go, mom working 3 jobs. We at home with my stepdad, and he just showed us so much love, man. He took his time out to spend time with me, took us to all the wrestling events, bought us all the video games. Life was good, man, from what I remember as a child. It was good. I was a happy kid. I used to just like staying in the house all day and playing video games. Go to school, come back, play video games. Well, one day, I was around 8 years old. You know, when you're a child, you really don't know what's going on. You don't know the business of your parents. You might see your parents arguing, but you don't really know what's going on. You don't know they late on the rent. You don't know the light's about to get cut off. You're just a kid. You just see them arguing. You get like, whoa, whoa. I remember one day my stepdad packed his bags. My mom kicked him out. And I remember sitting on this couch, my mom in the middle, it was me, my brother on the other side, and I cried. I just poured tears because I felt like I lost my father. It's kind of getting me emotional. And now I never told my testimony in front of this many people, so bear with me. I cried because this man was like a father to me. I didn't know my father, and he was gone. I remember looking at my mom, and I said, is he ever going to come back? And she just didn't say anything. Literally, like the next day, I look outside as a kid. I see this blue car there. I come downstairs. There's a whole nother man in the house. I don't even know this man. Who this man is? My mom found the new boyfriend. I just want to take a quick pause and say, Mom, I love you. Dad, I love you. But I got to tell my testimony and keep it real. If y'all know me, Adam going to keep it real, right? I don't have no hate in my heart for nobody. I forgive and love everybody from my past. But if we're going to tell this testimony, right, we're going to bring it back, we're going to keep it real. We ain't going to sugarcoat this thing, right? The truth going to set you free, right? Right? So we just got to be honest about it, right? I was heartbroken. I didn't understand it. This man that I love so much that I would wake up with and play with every day and spend my time when he was gone. And now this other man was there. So now as a child, I just started acting up. Started going to school, being a little knucklehead, the little bad kid, right? And I would get in so much trouble, whether not listening to my teachers, fighting, stealing. I would come home, and they would yell at me. But then it got to a point where this new stepdad started to become very mean, very harsh. He started to beat on me. My mom was at work, so a lot of things my mom didn't know because she was working. I was just at home with this man who was my stepdad. He used to whoop me so much that my bottom would be black and blue. My mom had to ship me off one time to my aunt and uncle's house because they was afraid they was going to get arrested. My bottom was so black and blue. Ooh, my grandma was ready to call these police, but they didn't, and they should have. But they just brushed it under the rug. This man would take me. I had sisters. He'll dress me up in my sister's clothes at 8 years old and throw me on the sidewalk, put me right outside. And I remember all the kids would laugh at me. Look at him, look at him. I'm standing on the sidewalk in girls' clothes at 8 years old, a young little boy. And he would just sit there and laugh. He got a kick out of it. Take my clothes off, put me in the basement naked. My mom would make me food, and I spent a lot of my childhood in a closet. It was that bad, and I laugh about it sometimes. It was that bad that here I am, an 8-year-old little kid. I used to love to go to school. These kids don't want to go to school. You want to know why I love to go to school? Because I was away from home. It was my freedom. Friday would come and that bell would ring. I'd be so depressed, I would cry. Because I'm like, I got to go home. He would throw me in this closet, this little laundry room. And I would stay there for years. That was my life. No interaction with the world. Come home, throw me in the closet. My mom would make food. He'll come in there, you don't get no hot food. Take my plate away. And here I am as a child just listening. I don't know my real father at this point. The man that I saw as my father is gone. And here I am, the oldest of 5 children, every day in this closet, every day getting beat with a 2x4. Just mean to me. Treating all the other kids better than me. Weekends come, I'm hearing all these kids come over to the house, movies playing and all that. My aunts and uncles, family members will come over. Where's Adam at? In the closet. Right? So here we go. 11 years old, my real father comes back into my life. The thing I was longing for, a father, something I ain't never had. My mom ships me off with my real father. I leave. It was a fresher breath air. It was good. But my father was really harsh. I love my father. Good-hearted person, but he got his own issues. And I was still messing up because my father really didn't know to the extent of what was going on when I was back with my mom. So I would go to school. And now I'm going into the 7th grade. I'm 12 years old. I move on my father, like I said, at 11. A year later, I'm 12. Now I have a little bit more freedom. I'm meeting other kids. I'm getting into trouble. And see, when I would get in trouble, my father was harsh. He'd close hand, knock me out. And I don't want to make it seem like my dad was abusing me. My dad wasn't no abuser. He didn't do the things that happened to me. But when I got in trouble, whoo, my dad go to town, stomp me out in the kitchen, close his fist cocked back from West Africa and knock me right out cold. Almost broke my nose one time, right? And I'm like, man, my dad's harsh. I was afraid of my dad, right? But I had a lot of issues, a lot of trauma. I was dealing with a lot of trauma. I remember here I am, 14 years old, and I go to school, and this kid gives me the CD. And the CD was a documentary of a rapper. And I started to watch this CD. Mind you, I didn't, at that time, I'm like the last generation where social media just started. There wasn't no cell phones, wasn't, when I was that young, there was MySpace. It was the beginning of MySpace. And as y'all know, look where it went from how it was then to what it is now. You got all type of social media, Twitter, all that. You could do everything from the phone. At that time, we didn't have any of that. The only way to get on, to know about things was going on TV or you get on the internet. He gave me this CD and it was this rapper. Now, mind you, my father was a musician. So when I moved in with my father, he had a studio upstairs. And I just wanted to play video games. And my dad would look at me and say, you should be a rapper. You should be a rapper, right? I'm like, all right, whatever, cool. I watched this video, and it was this rapper with flags. He was gangbanging. And I'm like, man, I want to be a gangbanger. I want to be like that. I want to be like, they got the red flags. They got this, that, and that. I want to be cool. Long story short, I kept chasing that. I go buy red flags. I go, you know what I mean? Try to meet other people that was in the gangs and stuff like that. And lo and behold, I got into some trouble. I moved back with my mom. I went back to the city of Rochester. Lo and behold, I get a friend request on MySpace. And I'm going to tell my story because somebody need to be set free.
That's right.
You feel what I'm saying? I know it might seem like, all these testimonies, you know what I mean? Let's be real. We human, right? It seemed like, man, that boy been up there talking long. I'm about to just be real with y'all, right? But I say this with confidence because somebody need to be set free.
That's right.
It's young men, it's young women out there that need to be set free. I remember getting a friend request on Facebook from this man who was the gang leader.
Right.
You from the hood, they call him the big homie. Right? This man had the status. He wrote me on Facebook. I'm on MySpace. Started talking with me. I'm like, oh, snap. This the opportunity. I'm meeting the big dog. This blood thing that I saw on TV that I thought was hip-hop and entertainment, I'm meeting somebody now. This man would talk to me on the phone. He would tell me, yeah, I'm going to put you down with the gang. I'm going to make you this. I'm going to make you that. He started to become a friend. Then he started to feel like a father to me. He would tell me, man, you ain't got to, all the little homies, they got to go through the initiations. You ain't got to do none of that. You under my wing. You under my jacket. We blood in, we blood out. This, that, and the third. Long story short, I had a little girlfriend. And I used to tell her, I'm a little kid, 15 years old. Girl, I'm about to be in this gang. I'm blood, I'm this, I'm with the big homie. He was like, call your girlfriend, get her on the phone. I didn't know what was going on back then, but I do now as I look back. I put my little girlfriend on the phone, and she started telling them, 14, now this sounds crazy, but this is what it was, a 15-year-old and a 14-year-old on the phone with this grown man. This 14-year-old girl saying, Adam don't need to be in no gang. He don't need to be in this. That gang stuff is stupid. He don't need to be out here getting in trouble. There was the opportunity. Next thing you know, he calls me and says, man, my girl didn't like what your girl said on that phone, man. Next thing you know, I'm getting messages from different accounts on MySpace saying, we gonna kill you. You done violated the gang. It's time to pay up. I'm like, wow, 15-year-old kid. I'm not telling nobody nothing. I can't go to my dad. I'm afraid of him. I don't know who to go to. They telling they going to fly from New York City, come kill me. I'm a 15-year-old kid. I said, what I need to do? He said, man, you got to come to my crib. You got to come to my house. I called my cousins. I said, yo, I need to go somewhere. Like, it's something going on. It's something crazy, but you know what I mean? I might get killed. I might lose my life. Cousin picked me up, drive me to this man's house. I come to this man's house. I walk in. Where all these people at that was, he's smiling at me. He like, sit down. I'm just sitting there. He starts showing me pictures of the gang. Like, yeah, this such and such from this set, this set. Next thing you know, this man told me, walk in this room. At this very moment, this spirit of fear came over me. It was like spiritual. Like this demonic stronghold just froze me up. Said, go in that room. I went in this room. 15-year-old boy, take your jacket off. Take my jacket off. What you? All right. What? Yeah, take that off. I take that off and take that off. And I remember being a 15-year-old kid just crying. Tears coming out my face like, no. I don't want to explicitly get into detail, but that day that man raped and violated me. I walked out of that house fried. My mind gone. What just happened to me? Nowadays they say, you know, you lost your manhood. And here I am, a 15-year-old little boy. And from about 15, 16, 17, 18, I'm loose cannon. I felt like my manhood was taken from me. What makes me a man? What makes me a young man? I felt like that was robbed. It was stripped from me. Who can I go to and talk to about this? Society says you got to be tough. You got to be hard. You got to be a man. Well, who can I tell about what this man did to me? Here I am, 19 years old, and I'll wrap this up.
No, come on.
I heard the Spirit of the Lord come into my bedroom. From that time at 15 years old up to 19, I'm on my own. I'm kicked out. I'm on the streets. I get a job, right? I get my own apartment. I'm having sex with all these women. I'm smoking all these drugs. I'm doing all these things. I'm robbing people. I'm doing all of that. Why? Because I'm trying to feel like a man again.
Come on.
I ain't had no father. As you see, as you walk with me throughout this timeline, I have father issues.
Yeah.
I didn't had nobody there to take my hand and say, this is the way. The world is saying this, but nah, son, walk this way. I had nobody telling me that. I started to get so paranoid and scared, I started thinking about suicide. I remember 19 years old, I was in my bedroom, and I sat there, and the Spirit of the Lord just entered. I ain't go to church like that. I ain't never read the Bible or none of that. God just started to speak to me. He started to sing a song to me. And I said, God, help me, please. Next thing you know, I go to church. I started to read the Bible. God started to do a work in me.
Come on.
He started to do a work in me. But I still wasn't free. See, that's the thing. You could be delivered. God take you out of where you done came from, clean you up, but you still ain't free. Why you think people don't want to deal with church people? Why you think people don't want to go to church? Oh, I love God, but man, that church thing, I'm good on that, dog. Why? Because people get delivered, but they ain't free. So they talking a good game. They talking the gospel. Jesus did that. But they cussing you out. They talking about you. They looking at your wife. They doing that. They ain't really set free. See, it's a thing of being delivered and set free. I was delivered, but I wasn't free yet. Here I am, a 19-year-old boy going on 20. I walk into a church, an event. And someone tell me, yeah, that's the pastor right there. I said, man, that ain't the pastor, man. Long story short, this pastor took me up under his wing. And at first it was weird because I had so much trauma that I was going through. I couldn't trust no man. I didn't know, what's he going to do to me? Is he plotting on me? I'm older now, so now I'm like, I'm going to fight. You know what I'm saying? This ain't never going to, I made a vow that this ain't never going to happen to me again. Right? But this man took me up under his wing. He's still patient with me. I was wilding. I went and took my wife. I got married to her when we was 18 years old, Rachel. We went out to Las Vegas. I lost all my money. I called that man crying. Said, I went broke out here. I'm getting evicted. I came back to Rochester so stressed out. He called me on the phone and said, I got an apartment for you. I said, what? Yeah, I got a building. Got a little apartment for you. I said, what? How much did? Don't worry about it. Gave me a free 2-bedroom apartment. I couldn't pay my rent. I call him every month. Yo, man, I ain't got it. It's okay. How you doing with your wife? How you doing with your kids? You going to work on time? But I thought we was talking about the rent. It's all right, son. Let you have an apartment and somebody ain't paying you rent for 12 months. You going to kick them out after 30 days. See, it's real. We could talk this thing, but when it's time to get to it, when it's time for you to sacrifice, when it's time for you to pick that phone up, I'm guilty of it. How many times you get that phone call and you just text me? Don't call me, just text me. Y'all know how it is. Let's be real. Because we selfish at heart. And that's why we need God. Because without God, we selfish. I call this man, be on the phone with him for 2-3 hours at a time. This man got a whole wife, family, just loving on me, loving on me, loving on me. I love you, son. I love you, son. I love you, son. I was still dealing with anger issues. He was walking me out through my freedom, walking me out through deliverance. See, I'm going to be real now. I remember one day saying, man, this dude ain't my father. I ain't going, man, what? Man, I ain't doing nothing. What? He looked at me and was like, what? We got into a tussle. I grabbed him, man, get off me. You know what he did? He hugged me. He said, I love you, son. I love you, son. I love you, son. I love you, son. I never had somebody hug me and hold me like that before and said, I love you, son. As I end my testimony, he walked with me and walked with me and walked with me and walked with me and my wife, still with me and Rachel, gave us counseling, gave us advice, picked up the phone at 2, 3 in the morning, answered the text at 12, 1 in the morning, came to my house, seen me, hooked me up with clothes, gave me this, gave me that, became like a father to me, something that I needed. And as y'all probably know, that man was Pastor Lonnie Brinson. Sold into my life. And here I am, 6 years married with my wife, 4 kids. They all healthy. I ain't broke no more. Got a good job. I'm doing good. I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. But you know what? I want to end this off right here. And as I look at this camera, as I look at everybody in here, to the young man, to the young woman who've been sexually abused, who've been molested, yeah, I see you. Yeah, I was there when your uncle crept in that room. Yeah, I was there when your stepfather did what he did to you. Yeah, I was there when your mama made you do that nasty thing you ain't want to do. Yeah, I was there when he said, don't tell nobody or I'm going to kill you. Don't tell nobody. I was there. And I love you. And you ain't got to deal with that pain no more.
Come on.
See, I'm free.
Come on.
But you know why I shed these tears?
Come on.
You know why I get emotional? Because it's a million, it's thousands of other kids, young women, young girls who ain't free. And who feel like they can't tell their testimony.
Come on.
And they can't speak about this. I can't tell nobody I've been molested. I can't tell nobody it was my uncle. I can't tell nobody it was my pastor. I can't tell nobody it was the praise director. I can't tell nobody it was somebody in the choir. I can't tell them it was the teacher at school. I can't tell them it was the counselor. Well, let me tell you, this is a lie from the pit of hell. And I say my testimony to let you know that you are free. If you need somebody to talk to, say so.
Glory
and I
to
say
God.
this, today marked this day. As Pastor Lonnie started this Say So movement, I want to extend a branch of that. The Say So movement, SYSO, the sexually abused youth shouting out for help who end up shouting out the goodness of God and how he set them free. You got somebody to talk to. Just know you ain't the only one. Open up your mouth and watch freedom meet you right there. In Jesus' name, I'm out.
Yeah! You better get on your feet and give God some praise.